Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we're going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Yoon joined Miyagi-Do during the events of Cobra Kai Season 6? So in this timeline, Kwon will still defeat Yoon, and he will still take the Kumbaji patch. So Kwon would become the new top student in Kim's dojang, and Yoon would be mad that Kwon had beaten him, and that Kwon was going to be the captain for Cobra Kai for the Saikai Taikai. But this is when Yoon would remember what Kreese had told him about Miyagi-Do. So Yoon would want to join Miyagi-Do in this timeline. So Yoon would go to the valley, and he would want to join Miyagi-Do. So Yoon would show up at the Miyagi-Do dojo. He would tell the Miyagi-Do senseis everything that happened. Yoon would explain how he felt betrayed by his little dojang, and he would reveal that Cobra Kai was going to be entering the Saikai Taikai. The Miyagi-Do senseis would be surprised, and they wouldn't entirely trust Yoon, but Yoon would join Miyagi-Do in this timeline, and he would start learning defense. Those events would continue. The Saikai Taikai would still be revealed to take place in Barcelona, so Daniel and Johnny would still have to pick 6 fighters to compete in the Saikai Taikai, and they would still have a hard time deciding on who would go. So much like in the original timeline, Daniel would still bring in Mike Barnes, and Mike would still do a series of challenges to determine the top students, and those challenges would carry on. And Yoon would do well during the challenges, and Mike would choose his top 5, and Hawk, Kenny, and Dimitri would all be tied for 6th place. So Mike would want to review his notes and decide the next day. Those events would continue, and much like in the original timeline, Johnny would still go talk to Mike, and those events would stay the same. And the next day, Mike will still say that the last 4 were too close to call, so Mike will still want the remaining 4 to race, so the challenge would begin. And Devin would still put laxatives in Kenny's water, so Kenny would still be out. And in this timeline, Hawk would get the final flag, so he would be the final member on the Miyagi-Do team. And those events would carry on. Season 6 would continue. Tori's mom would still pass away. Johnny and Daniel would still want Miguel and Robbie to compete for captain, so Miguel and Robbie would still fight. Robbie would still be balanced in this timeline, and he would still defeat Miguel, so Robbie would still be the boys' captain. Sam and Tori would still fight, and Tori would still be fighting with Anchor. Amanda and Daniel would still stop the fight, and much like in the original timeline, Tori would still quit Miyagi-Do, and she would still leave. So in this timeline, Sam would be the girls' Miyagi-Do captain, and Daniel and Johnny would choose Devin to take Tori's place. Miyagi-Do would still make it to the Saikai Taikai, and they wouldn't be surprised to see Cobra Kai there, but they would be surprised and heartbroken to see that Tori had to rejoin Cobra Kai. The Cobra Kais would still confront the Miyagi-Dos, and Kwon would notice that Yoon was among them. Kwon would call Yoon a traitor, but Yoon would say that he was only Miyagi-Do to make sure he loses. So in this timeline, Kwon and Yoon would have the rivalry. Eventually, the Captain's War Challenge would begin. Miyagi-Do would be on defense, and they would still be doing Protect the Egg, but Tori and Kwon would still want to go after the Miyagi-Dos. Devin would still be knocked down. Yoon would want to go after Kwon, so Kwon and Yoon would fight. And in this timeline, Yoon and Robbie would take Kwon down. So only Miyagi-Do and the Iron Dragons would remain. And much like in the original timeline, the Iron Dragons would still take down Miyagi-Do, so the Iron Dragons would win. The Saikai Taikai would continue. Miyagi-Do would still have to knock the other dojo off the platform, but Miyagi-Do wouldn't do so well. Miyagi-Do would still have to fight out Dublin Thunder. Robbie and Sam would still start off, and they would fight their opponents, but Robbie would still be distracted by Tori, so he would still be knocked off. So Devin would join Sam on the platform. Devin and Sam would still fight their opponents. The fight would continue, and Sam would still be knocked off. So Hawk would join Devin, and much like in the original timeline, Devin would still sacrifice herself to save Hawk. So Yoon would join Hawk on the platform, and together Yoon and Hawk would finish the fight. And much like in the original timeline, Carmen would still be rushed to the hospital, and Johnny and Miguel would have to leave, and Danny would call for Anthony to take Miguel's place. And that is where I'm going to end part 1. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if you enjoyed Miyagi-Do during the events of Cobra Kai Season 6? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.